Lunar New Year is round the corner. It's gonna be the year of the metal ox. And 2021, let's hope and pray that we'll get a better year. I was out and about in Singapore Chinatown, and lo and behold, I discovered that the decoration for the Lunar New Year is up with this beautiful sort of orange fiery colors ox on display at the beginning of Chinatown. And so I decided I'd take a photograph and I'll sketch it just like I usually do with my Palomino Blackwing. Lightly sketch, and once the lines are done, I am ready to roll. But first, all the little details, the coins that the ox is sitting on, and all the other decorations, which means Happy New Year, essentially in Chinese, and the old-looking coins, and so on and so forth. I'm not deliberately drawing all the details, but I'll try to balance it between the signpost and the ox. That's all I try to do. So in your drawing, oftentimes you will be encountering tons of details. Don't bother with it. I suggest that just focus on the stuff that you are most important to you, and then you can just focus on painting. As you can see, I start with the negative shapes. In other words, the shapes outside of the ox itself, or the bull, and I dropped in French ultramarine on very wet paper, as well as permanent alizarin crimson. I drop in more water to make it diffused and sort of intentional. Drop in more colors to make it even more diffused, and so on and so forth. As you can see, there's really no strategy other than just trying to make the ox pop by putting some dark colors at the back, just to make the main character, in this case, pushed out in front. I continue to do the same thing with even pushing out the front for the sign. It basically says CTESLE. Those are short form for Central Express as well as Seletar Express, basically the expressway. Now, as you can see, I dropped in some cadmium. I always like cadmium to be dropped in on the dark colors. It sort of give a bit of an explosion, if you like, and that's just something I like to do. Artistic liberty and style, I suppose. Now I'm ready to draw the ox itself. Lemon yellow, very cool yellow, to the patches that are directly hit by the sunlight. Where it is cast shadow at the bottom, or the chest, the bottom part of the bull, I used a darker version of basically queen rose mixed slightly with cobalt with a bit of queen burnt orange, and that really is just to give a value that's a notched up, probably around 2.5, 3 out of a scale of 5. The yellow remains at number 1, let's say. So in the same way, I keep going at the various parts of the bull. Now I'm looking at the horn. It is completely sort of maybe scale of 4 out of 5. I put in very dark permanent alizarin crimson. I'm careful not to paint the whole thing like a solid block with lots of water on one side and lots of colors on the other side. So it's kind of gradated, if you like. Same thing goes to the hoof, to the nose, to the eyes, and a bit of the ear. The ears on the lighter color, so I use permanent alizarin crimson and dashed in some of the orange that I have as well. So make sure that when you paint, each of those colors are not just a single solid color. It's always a charged in colors, and it always helps with the sketch. You can see that I'm beginning to put lines as well, and that helps to sort of give a bit of a shape and the direction of the form of the ox, and that will just give your viewer a sense of the shape of the bull. Because paper's 2-dimensional, you need all the help you can get to create a 3-dimensional structure, if you like. Negative painting around the letters on the right hand bottom right, CTE, SLE, not being very careful, but doesn't matter. Bit of shadow on the pole itself that carries the signboard. Again, dropping lemon yellow, very light yellow on patches of where I think the sun hits, and you can see the brush is dancing around. It's not really, going at it like, a big brush stroke. It's just dancing around with basically indicating what I think are the lights and indicating where I think are the shadows and where I think are the darker spots at the structure. And I'm not trying to be very careful, not trying to be real, just trying to give an indication. And I think your eyes can interpret the rest, basically. Same thing with the decorative structure at the bottom. I'm not going to paint it. Actually, I'm just going to be lazy and just leave it. And don't want to put too much attention to it as well. Trying to now put a bit more of the shadow, and I think I'm done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very short, sweet, and it is trying to celebrate a new incoming Lunar New Year. Stay safe wherever you are, and peace. Whee Teck here, out.
Young ones,